Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. and Lady, it's your boy Jerem, and you are tuned into Kinetic Aesthetic. Today, I wanted to talk to you all about the recent happening in the world, the big event that has went down in North America. Some of you may be able to already tell what I'm going to talk about. If you can't already, I'm talking about the election. Regardless of who you voted for, we are all going to be affected somewhat by the outcome, whether it be what we just have to listen to on the news, whether it be any policies that whoever puts in charge actually affects us. So I just wanted to talk about that and, from my own little comfy position over in this blue state we call Washington, talk to y'all about how the world is not going to end and you probably should not be hiding under your covers or preparing to move to Canada or whatever other spot you were thinking of. Firstly, I just want to say this was a result that says a lot. It's a result that says a lot about what we value as a country, what we find important, what we're willing to put up with, and just what we believe in. It's you can say a lot about Trump, about what he represents, about the things he's come out and said, and then the way that some of these things you'd be shocked that it's just shocking that he hasn't been just completely abandoned because of it. But we just have to all come to a realization, and I say that as someone who's a person of color. We all just got to understand, like, this country is what it is. If there's one thing that I've been shown by this result, is that this country is what it is. You can unify, you can all band together, and we can do what we can, but we have to remember that at its core, this is a country where, when I say unify, but I'm really saying, I guess, like, it's only half of the people that are unified. Like, a majority of peoples would still either prefer or they don't care enough to place their opinion down to vote for someone who is, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to stay as neutral as I can and not really just showcase my leanings or have any biases in this shit, but it's hard for me to really find any other reason aside from the fact that Kamala was a woman. I'm not someone that's a super turbo feminist. I don't really. I believe it. I don't even. I don't know. I don't know how to really, like, associate myself with that term. I definitely believe that women should have equal rights and all of that. With that being said, I just also recognize that that's just not the majority of the case, especially with my gender. Like, it's a lot of motherfuckers who I feel like, and I hate to use this because this is a bit of a cop out. There are people who are ignoring the fact that the Democrats did not run a perfect campaign. Do I feel like Biden should have stepped down earlier? Do I believe that he shouldn't have been running as an incumbent? Yes. Does that mean that that was going to make all of this better? That they probably had faith that they would have done anything different otherwise? No. One thing that I've learned just from studying other things in history and social studies and just how other countries are run, we are a very conservative country, just in general. We're very to the right. Our Democrats are very conservative by European country standards. Like, there's a lot of different things that other places have that's almost basic to them that we're still just struggling and fighting for. That being said, I think we have to come to an understanding that there's just a majority of people who just have a lot of old fashioned values. We're still that mindset and that energy is still here. It's still very alive and prevalent. And more importantly, those people are voting. Those people are voting. Those people are going to mobilize. Those people are going to get together. They're going to do what they need to do to get their voices heard, to get what they want put in action. And I say that to say the majority of the demographics that voted, and I'm gonna just go based off what I know. If more comes out that speaks to the contrary, I'll eat crow. I'll put my foot in my mouth. But from what I've been seeing, a majority of African Americans all voted for Kamala, man and woman. So the black male argument, and actually, let me just go on this little rant right here. Yes, a lot, like 80% of black men voted for Kamala. So all these motherfuckers who was coming out saying that black men don't support are all going conservative. There's going to be a red wave of black men. All these black men who don't want to support Kamala. Shut the fuck up. There's one thing I've learned from this election is that the loudest, most ignorant voices, yes, they're going to do some ignorant coon ass shit. But what's fucked up is that y'all are going to try to make them seem like they fucking represent everybody. That is one thing I don't understand. Niggas do it too. For some reason, they see one nigga do something, and all of a sudden, that's every nigga. Please understand. I don't know who the fuck Sleepy Hollow or Chef G or whoever the fuck the New York nigga was that got up there with Trump. Why did all of a sudden that mean that every nigga that you know is going to support Trump? A lot of the niggas that support Trump are usually felons or fucking idiots who don't have the ability to vote. Stop trying to make them the fucking base of us. That's identity politics. That's all the bullshit representative politics. Shut the fuck up trying to do that to us. Please. That goes for anybody, regardless of whether you're a black woman, whether you're a black man who does it, anybody. We are the most progressive fucking block of voters. It's us. It's us. We're always holding down and we're always getting shit on the most. That's actually very fucking annoying to see. Once I figured that out, I had to really stop being so hard on us because I used to do it. I used to think, yeah, we're just this and we're that. No, 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 we're not. Just the loud niggas you see on Facebook or the loud niggas you see typing in all caps making social media posts don't represent every nigga you know. They don't. So I just wanted to get that out the way. Shut the fuck up. Now, when it comes to who really let motherfuckers down, from what I've seen, and I'll just say this right now, a majority of white women didn't vote for him, but it was a big ass sizable portion. A big ass sizable portion when that really doesn't make sense. Actually, it does. Because one thing I'm also trying to remind myself, you have to remind yourself always, your algorithm is going to be based off what you're going to want to see. There's not a lot of times you're going to be seeing shit that's going to piss you off, or you're not. If you are a hardcore liberal, chances are you're not going to see a lot of Trump supporting shit on your feed, unless it's shit that's calling them out or making them out to be or just jokes about them. So I do feel like one thing that we're seeing right now is that a lot of these people, if you're just living on Reddit, if you're just living on Twitter where everything is curated to what you want to see, Facebook, anything, you might be shocked. Motherfuckers might not live in a bubble. Because I'll tell you right now, living in Washington, I had that gut feeling in the back of my head. Like I sort of was like, yeah, this might happen. It feels weird. Like it just the fact that there wasn't really even much talk about the election this whole year felt a little weird to me. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm in a state where it's just so almost it don't get much more blue than this up in Washington. Like it really doesn't. You're in the Pacific Northwest. Need some liberal ass motherfuckers up here. So I do feel like that was a big part of why it felt like it was not a far gone conclusion, but just a lot of people who were very confident, who I felt like got a lot of egg and face because they really just didn't see it coming because they're not seeing all these people who are so ready to do it. It's just all right. That's just some ignorant motherfucker from bumfuck nowhere. It's just idiots on Facebook. It's bots. It's Russian bots. No, it's not Russian bots. There's a lot of people out here who still support that shit, who still support him, who believe in conservative values and all that other shit. And I think this has to be a rude awakening that you are going to have to recognize that you are going to have to stop. And it's funny I say that as I'm coming up and talking about and using some of the language I've been using this whole episode, but we're gonna have to stop talking down to people. We're gonna have to stop sort of having this condescending way that we sort of talk about politics because it's not helping us get anywhere on the liberal side. It's not helping us by thinking of all these other people on the right as just Hitler and evil and fucking dumbasses. And I say all that to say because even though they are, you're just not going to reach them, and you're not going to get them to take your hand when it comes to being able to really connect with us on this side and being able to help them. Ostracizing people it's not going to have the result that you're looking for, and people have to realize that and just be better. I know it's hard. I know it doesn't sound right. It's hard to just look at somebody who's trying to vote. If you're a trans person, it's hard to vote for somebody, not vote for somebody, but just look at somebody who's just is so afraid of you and doesn't understand shit about you to the point where they hate you and want you to die, and then say, "Hey, I'm going to try to level with you and reach you and just or not look down on you and just sort of be gentle with the way I teach you and talk to you about things." It is hard, but the only other option you have is to just I don't know, like whatever people are doing now, it's not working. And I say that not only about issues when it comes to like trans rights or LGBTQ shit, but men's rights as well. Not saying that men need rights. I know a lot of niggas nowadays be acting like hoes. There's a lot of whiny ass dudes, a lot of whiny ass bitches who are always mad about, and get this and that. They get to do this and that, all the same bullshit we've always dealt with, misogyny and all that. But I feel like unfortunately we've gotten to a point now where it's become so accepted and so easy to just like make a joke about how men suck or how much niggas ain't shit or how all white men are evil, to the point now where we've ostracized those groups to the point where there's just sizable portions of both. Because even though it was 80% of niggas that voted for Kamala, I do feel like if you were to really poll all black men, including niggas who can't vote, there's a big sizable portion who don't fuck with her and don't fuck with liberal shit in general, who feel like the left really just hates men. I do feel like that is something that's becoming more prevalent, that's becoming more of a way for the right to take advantage of all that. Because there's just a lot of rhetoric that can come off as anti-men or just anti-untrustworthy anything, which, while warranted, I don't want that to get misconstrued. It is warranted. I can't be mad at women. I literally just saw an article today about how some nigga in Florida, some 18-year-old dude who's a rapper, stabbed a woman in her throat because she said no. Because she rejected his advances. So I'm not trying to say that is like something that has to be ignored, that women shouldn't be afraid of men, that niggas ain't capable of doing horrific shit over petty ass reasons. I don't want that to be misconstrued. But when it comes to politics, unfortunately, the idea of having to play the game of trying to get motherfuckers to vote for your side, if we're going to do this democracy shit the way we should, then we've got to find a way to stop ostracizing motherfuckers that we need on our side, that we need to vote for us. Got to find a way to reach these people. Because if you don't, if you keep pushing them away, even if they're not voting for Trump, because Kamala was missing 20 million votes. There's a lot of fucking young white males, they say, that just didn't get out and vote, and I can honestly tell you they probably didn't like the idea. Not number one, of a woman being their president, and God forbid a black woman. Number two, number three, they feel like they have been ostracized. They feel like they are unwanted. They feel like maybe they don't want to be racist. They don't want to just blindly support Trump, but they just don't feel like either side actually wants them or actually has their best interest at heart. And I say that, like I said, I do feel like there's a lot of like bitching, and it's toxic for me to say that, but I feel like there's a lot of dudes who just need to, sort of understand. I feel like this: we've ruled the world for so long, we've been able to do so much shit. At this point, I'm interested to see what would be different if a woman was in charge. And not only that, I just feel like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares at this point in terms of just worrying about certain shit when it comes to who's in charge, when it comes to all the ostracization and shit. Like, you have to just understand that this shit is there's bigger issues at play when it comes to all these things. Like, I wish that I could just sit here and go on a rant about how the reason why all these men feel the way they do is because of shit that we did to ourselves. Like, all the toxic masculinity shit, all the shit about women hating all men, it's because of our own doing. It's because we have not been doing what we needed to do as men, and we have like been reaping, and now we're reaping what we sow. I feel like as a society and as a race, we just have a tendency to kick the balls down the road, then we complain about shit that happened to us and ignore the fact that, like, we did it. We kicked the can down the road. Now our kids are dealing with it. Now they're confused and they're just pissed off because they don't know why they're having to inherit bullshit. And I feel like also we're just running out of we're at the end of our rope. I don't know how much longer we can do this. And there's so many different things I feel like are holding us back that shouldn't be. That's why I am not a. That's why I'm not a fan of this new regime. I'm not a fan of what's about to happen over the next 4 years. And I'm saying all that to say, don't feel like, and like I said in the beginning, don't feel like this is going to be the end. Don't feel like that the world is going to be falling down, that we're going to end up in World War III. I don't believe that's going to be the case. We've already gotten through one presidency of this man. We can get through another. I think we just need to, right now, we're going to just need to batten down the hatches. You're going to need to really stick to your grind, get to your money. Because right now, this isn't time to fuck around. There's going to be a lot of crazy shit that happens. There's going to be a lot of just memeable moments that come from this motherfucker just being in office again. I've I'm already seeing he's getting ready to put a Fox News anchor as the Secretary of Defense, so it's going to be a lot of just hoopla. But this is the time to remember to just connect with your community. Have a network. If you don't feel safe where you at, get somewhere where you gonna feel safe. Like I said, I'm in a blue state. I'm in a state where my last time this motherfucker was in office, the governor here was like doing everything he could to just combat all his policies and make sure none of that bullshit that he was trying to do affected the people here. So I don't feel any type of way. I'm perfectly honest with you. I don't feel like I do, and I say all that after I've talked about like this motherfucker to say local elections are much more important than all this shit. If you are voting on your representatives and what's going on with your local cities and all that, that's much more important and it's going to affect your everyday life much more than the president. But like I said, you got to do what you got to do, batten down the hatches. Just hey, things are looking like it's going to get worse before it gets better. So all I can really say right now is that we all just have to just be ready. Be ready to come together, be ready to be down for each other. Um, Ladies, I apologize, especially to my black women out there. This result was a reflection of the fact that we would much rather have a felon, have a man who is not well articulated and who is really just divisive when it comes to bringing our country together instead of a black woman. There's a lot, we can sit and go deeper. I've already heard motherfuckers that try to say that she was going to be just like Biden part two. That's not true. It is what it is. And I'm not trying to say that I thought Kamala was perfect. I definitely didn't. Like, her being a former cop is something that I always was like, I don't know about that. That is sort of weird. I'm very anti-establishment in the first place myself. I grew up in Illinois, so I already know what it's like to have fake ass politicians all around and just trying to fake the funk. But this is not this is not the alternative, y'all. I'm tired of having to have reality TV stars as my president. I'm tired of having to just have somebody who is more hell bent, it seems, on talking about motherfuckers trying to eat cats and just being divisive and not really wanting to bring people together. I'm tired of that. So I don't know what else to tell you if you are, not somewhere safe other than, like I said, get somewhere safe. I don't know what to tell you if you're worried about food prices going up or about all that other type of shit. All I can tell you is batten down the hatches. Take up a side hustle. Be prepared. Save your money. Don't waste it on frugal shit. Stop eating out. Cook. Plant some shit. Be self-sustainable because it's getting to that point. Not just in our country, but in the world. That's all I have to say, y'all. This has been Kinetic Aesthetic. I'm your boy Germ. I hope everybody has a wonderful and beautiful rest of your day.